from now on, that's how you play Aaron Rodgers slash Jets. Anyway, so we got a regular Thursday night game, and then, that just seemed like it was a doozy. And next week we get Cowboys and Giants. So like we about to start these exciting, great Thursday night runs. And to be honest, I would cut this thing off like early, but then Drake May came in there, and I was like, all right, I'll see what the little youngster got to do. But yeah, he didn't really do too much here to really give any talk or whatever or anything like that. He did get his ass stung a couple times, I will say that. But besides the fact, I was like, the Jets came and did what they were supposed to do on both sides of the ball. I was like, on one hand, it's like, hey, the Patriots aren't any slouches to be taken for granted, but we also don't look at them as that type of way at the same time. So it was sort of like a perfect blend of like a team that's been good the last 2 weeks against the Bengals and the Seahawks. So that gives them some credibility. But then we also are like, yeah, but you should be able to sort of do something against them. Because if you don't, especially after coming out the Titans, where it was like, it was a Will Levis stupid play before y'all started getting stuff going, that everybody gonna look at you funny. But they established the run. They were able to come out here with the run and with Allen and Hall and get some good chunk yards and just keep it going. I was like, the receivers were pretty much all on point with Aaron Rodgers today. They looked really crisp, where it was like they just sort of knew the timing and what he was going to do. Because a lot of the things with Aaron Rodgers kind of like, you look at him and then you just have to have like that telekinetic ability of being like, okay, I think we're gonna do. Okay, yeah, we're doing it. Like that's really how he does and how he gets away with a lot of stuff. Almost like his snap count, where it's like he does the hut, and then like somebody comes off sides, but somebody's always open for a touchdown just because it's just like you just link up with him, and that's sort of what it was today. Where it was Garrett Wilson on a back shoulder pass, where it was he did another one with like Mike Williams. I was like, whether it was Lazar and Garrett Wilson, where it was just quick screens on the outside, and they would make plays off of it. Also, I do think that I was like, it looked like Aaron Rodgers, Hackett, all of them went in the lab, and basically, because I was like, they was getting Conklin involved, and he was open on a lot of plays, but also it seemed like everything was so crisp, and the line either gave him the time to pass, because I was like, Aaron Rodgers also getting the ball out really fast too, so I was like, they usually got to hold up for that much, or they was able to hold up to where it made it easier for him to pick a lane to run or whatever, and go to the like bootleg to the side or something like that. I mean, it's not an actual bootleg, but you sort of get what I'm saying. But yeah, no, I was like, it looked like they were actually coming up with plays to get their players a chance to be playmakers, instead of just being like, okay, go out there and win your matchup against that corner. I was like, don't get me wrong, there were times where they did that, and where Aaron Rodgers and the receiver, like I said, on a couple of those back shoulders or whatever, Mike Williams didn't get the touchdown, but it was like a play like that, where it just seemed like that's the ability of Aaron Rodgers doing the ball placement kind of thing, and you being on tap, where it's like, you don't necessarily have to win your matchup, like as far as like necessarily like running kind of thing like that. You just have to win your matchup when I'm throwing the ball to you. But I was like, there was like one where I was like, look, I was like, they did do a couple of things where it was motion. In this game, I was like, you've seen Garrett Wilson peel off over here to the right every now and then. They had Garrett Wilson in the slide a few times. Conklin, I was like, they had him like came into the backfield and he peeled right back out. So they was actually doing a lot more things than what has been going on the last few weeks, which I think helps. And I was like, the Patriots, they have a pretty decent defense, so it's not like you were just over here just doing nothing with them. I was like, now on the flip side, I was like, the Jets, not the Jets. I think the Patriots did have sort of a chance at the beginning before they basically, like, once the Jets go up 2 scores against this Patriots team, that's the Patriots. The Patriots can't do that. The Patriots are a team that's like, we could go back and forth, or we get a lead on you, but we're not able to really come back from behind or whatever. I was like, that's not their strength. But it also didn't help that this game the Jets were just like, we're not about to have y'all get our reputation ruined of us being a defensive team. Like, it's like, whatever y'all heard, whatever it is, we coming after that ass today, and that's what they did. I was like, I was like, don't worry. I think early on, I'll say like, I think early on, Brissett and the Patriots was able to move the ball. Stevens was able to run it a bit too, and I was like, penalties also, penalties hurt them. Don't get me wrong, the Jets had some penalties, dumb penalties as well too. But I was like, the Patriots had penalties that killed drives or whatever, and they was getting sacked. That really sort of killed any momentum they had. Cause there was a couple of times where it's like they put a drive together and they just couldn't get. And I was like, there's another one where they was in the red zone. They end up being back out to where they had to punt. So I was like, I'm not gonna act like the Patriots wasn't around in this game or whatever. But I was like, but the Jets were just having their number on a lot of things. They did a lot more blitzing. I was like, in this game, I was like, they did a lot more of trying to confuse the offensive line for the Patriots. I was like, and to be honest, the Patriots don't really have the weapons in that type of way to overcome this Brissett not having a good pocket. Cause I was like, Brissett had a good pocket. I was like, he could throw it and march him down the field. He was doing that for a while. But once they were just making it messy, I was like, and he's not. And I was like, he's a scrambling quarterback, but he's not a fast quarterback. Like, if you told me like him versus Baker Mayfield, I'm probably gonna be like, Baker Mayfield should take that one, just because I was like, he's clunky the way he runs, and it's really a weird like type of thing to think of, that he's a. I don't feel right calling him a scrambling quarterback, but he is sort of a scrambling quarterback. He's not like a Teddy Bridgewater type or Geno Smith, where they can run. But that's not that game. He does sort of run, but I was like, maybe age has caught up to him as well too. I was like, well, he always been running like an old man, like he got sand in his feet. Anyway, yeah. So I was like, the Patriots. I was like, they put Brissett on the bench, but that was really just because the game was out of hand more so than they're benching Brissett. Also, I think a game like this, and also we did get to see Drake May for a little bit, and I was like, I feel like that's the reasoning of just not throwing Drake May out there. It's because you don't have any real like skill positions that are like Polk is still young. Thornton hadn't really developed after they picked him. He was supposed to be a fast receiver. KJ Osborne, I would like looked a whole lot better in Minnesota than he in Minnesota. It was like, damn, he's the top number 2 type of wide receiver. Here, I was like, he barely even gets to. It seemed like he gets to play. They got Hunter. I was like, they got Hunter Henry and Hooper, and sometimes they balling and sometimes it's just like tonight. They got a good running game to where they ain't really use Gibson. He's on the bench. I was like, to me, I was like, this is the reason, Andy, of why you don't really play Drake May or rookie quarterback in situations, just because you got a rookie quarterback, or you just like, we got to play him to see. We got to, I was like, you ain't always got to. I think that was a perfect example. I was like, he eventually going to get in this season. Once I think they're really like out of favor to really win I was like, compete for anything other than a top pick. But even then, I was like, you sort of playing, but it's not like you're not drafting a quarterback, so you don't really need that pick to be high in that way. Now, you do want that pick to be high to trade. That's different. But on the Jets end, y'all came out, y'all needed to do what y'all need to do to silence enough people for at least a week. I was like, the defense looked crisp, they were ready to go. I was like, I'm glad that they basically said like, hey, we ain't got the pass rush that we need to. Screw it, we're just gonna blitz. And I was like, I do think they have plenty of people to do that type of stuff. They got enough athletes, they got enough dudes that are like in that weird tweener type of side where just like able to just fly and go all over the place. I was like, they do got personnel up front. I was like, and I think that will help the people up front get to the quarterback even more so, or whatever. At least right now, while you don't have that pass rush that you sort of need, or whatever, because you ain't got Reddick and stuff. So, but anyway, and I was like, Aaron Rodgers looked good. I was like, he's been looking improved, and I was like, this is probably the best he's looked. I was like, where he's able to roll out. I was like, he did scamper for a couple yards before a slide. He took a big hit. Well, I'm not gonna say a big hit, but he did take a hit after he passed the ball. I was like, he was moving quite well and able to stop on a dime and get his feet set to pass. So I was like, he looking really good. He looking fluid. But anyway, that is your Thursday night matchup. I guess unfortunately we'll see you. I will see you again for the next Thursday night one, Cowboys and Giants. And if the Cowboys lose this weekend against the Ravens, it will at least be something compelling to watch. So anyway, till then, peace. I'm out.